Hi, you guys. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name's Allie Wilkins. I'm so excited that you're here. And I'm so excited that my sweet friend, colleague, priestess, sister, all the things, Adrienne Schroeder is here with us again. Um, so just like our other video that we did, Adrienne just talked about something and I was like, could you come onto my channel? Because I think that other people need to hear this. I think that this conversation's really important. So she is blessing us with her wisdom and insight and ideas today. And she's been helping me with this as well. So I wanted to share this conversation with you. Before we get too into it, Adrienne, do you want to just introduce yourself and let people know who you are?
Yeah, I'm Adrienne, also known as White Star. I am a shaman, a steward of star medicine, astrologer, breathwork facilitator. Most importantly, I'm a mentor here to unlock your deepest potency for New Earth, which means you make your dreams, and when we all make our dreams together, we birth a new paradigm together. Like that is everything, that's why I do everything. Thank you for having me. I'm excited to be here.
You're so welcome. I'm so happy to have you back, and I have a feeling we'll be doing lots of these together. Adrienne and I just really resonate on a lot of different things, and we see things in very similar ways. And one of the things that she's been talking about a lot on her Instagram and just in the work that she's doing is around the importance of discipline. And I'll let you explain this further. I'm just going to give a little intro and then you can like be free. So I've just noticed, and I'm wondering if you guys watching this have noticed this as well, that in the spiritual community, in the priestess community, and whatever you might classify yourself as, a lot of these conversations that we have when we're talking with people who are more on their feminine or who are more on their spiritual side, we see so often that people have difficulty following through with their ideas, or we might have all the creative ideas and be downloading so many things, but then actually bringing them into fruition can be difficult for a lot of people. And the way I think a lot of us have seen this is because we're not really balanced with the masculine energy. A lot of times when we work with feminine energy, we can swing and we're like, oh, this is so delicious because I haven't been in it for a long time. I've maybe been more in my masculine and now I'm swinging to this side. And then we leave behind some of the ability to be really grounded and tangible and like action oriented. And it's really easy to just get kind of caught up in the ethers and like it's fun to be there. We can be there. But just what I see in this spiritual space is that there's there's a missing component, and I would love for you to share your favorite quote because I think this will tie in perfect and like what that means to you.
Yeah, so the bedrock of all my work is, and this quote found me. It was like delivered to me years ago. And just for some context, like I have a previous career as a successful classical musician. So at 27, I walked away from lifetime financial security in my dream job, um, because my intuition said so. That was like my first thing that I did where everybody told me I was crazy, but I knew. And I definitely lost everything for sure. However, now I have the real everything. Um, so that sets some context for like the skill set that I've developed in this lifetime. The quote is, those who love peace must learn to organize just as effectively as those who love war. And Martin Luther King said that, and he's an ascended master now, and he's still saying that shit. He's like, yo, humans, yo, light workers, like, you're still scared of your own power. You're still scared of strategy. You're unwilling to be organized. You call it freedom when it's really the deepest cage ever. It's not being in flow. Like you're spilling your magic all over the ground. Your magic means nothing if there's no vessel. Like it's so important. And the reason why so many mystics resist discipline is because it was used against us by the patriarchy and, this system where we must comply, we must stand in line. Like when we were in school, what is the modern school system? They're just teaching us how to be good robots. They're teaching us how to be good employees, which is modern day slavery, in my opinion. Um, if we did something incorrect, we were disciplined. And so that word even can be like there's so much resistance to it because there are so many oppressive structures that use it to control. And when we realize and remember we are always in control, like, are we in control of the universe? No. However, there's a lot of people being like pawns when you're meant to be a queen. You're meant to run your shit, not have shit run you. So it's really stepping out of that victim embodiment into the true queen. So it's like it's really the difference between being a princess and a queen. A princess waits in a tower to be saved, and she doesn't want to chip a nail. The queen builds her fortress and she channels wealth so she can invest in the manicure that's gel that won't chip. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, that went way beyond the quote, but
That's perfect. So do you guys see what I'm talking about when we're saying, so many of us, oh, I flickered out, the universe is coming in. When we're talking about having a vision and being a steward of that vision, there are so many things that are like trying to distract us and take us away from creating that. And it's part of our role to understand how to, the way I always think of it is like, how do I steward in my pristine energetic field? Like, how do I keep my energy pristine? And it's the same thing of what you're talking about of basically we need to have a vessel or a container through which we're actually bringing through that vision so that it can be focused and strategic. And I love what you talk about around like we're afraid of discipline or we have the connotation of discipline being punishment. So we're like, no thanks, not interested in that.
yeah.
I don't think I'm gonna do that so much. And one of the things that I've just noticed, like being a part of Adrienne's world and doing a lot of her breathwork classes and just, conversing with her, is all the work she's doing is like creating these 1 degree shifts that make a massive difference. And when she talks about holy habits, and this is kind of what the conversation is going to be geared towards today, around how we can change our viewpoint of habits and discipline, and how we can see that that's actually a devotional practice towards what we're creating and shifting. And Adrienne just does this so beautifully. So I just want you to talk about this, like in whatever way feels right for you, shifting the connotation around habits in our and our nervous system and how all these things play in together.
Yeah. So, holy habits came to me when I channeled my signature program called 3D Moves. It's called 3D Moves, the how to hold your why, and it was based off all this floaty mystic energy I was seeing. Like I come from the classical music world, like a male dominated world, like I won that game by strategy, by skill, by discipline. I'm hot, okay? I could have slept my way to the top. I didn't. I earned it, right? Um And I remember getting in the spiritual space and I was just like confused. I was like, I don't understand. Like, people have all these 5D visions, right? And like people were just like point blank not making it real. It's like say one thing, do another. And then also this like entitlement energy, oh, I'm a priestess, I should just get it. And it's like, yo, um, that's called booty calling spirit. That's called like fuckboy energy on God source energy. It's like, oh, it's 2 a.m. I'm bored. I want my dream. I'm just gonna try and extract from the light. And it's wrong. And people don't even realize they're doing it. And so I channeled this program because I was just noticing the pattern. And Holy Habits was one of the modules. It was the four original modules were cosmic clearing, which we cleared with the Virgo moon because a lot of this is Virgo energy, which is deeply misunderstood. Virgo is all about mastery. I'm a Virgo, Venus, Mercury, and Mars, of course. Um, and, and my Venus and Mercury are both retrograde. So what does that mean? Through Virgo discipline, I create quantum results. It's nonlinear results. And so most of the world operates in discipline and habits as like very like stacking energy, right? Like stack, 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 stack. If mystics are able to master discipline, it will be like I stack this brick and like a million things happen. It's like butterfly effect times like a trillion because of the codes that people carry. So honestly, I was like deeply disturbed because I saw all these like powerful people carrying codes and they're just like carrying the codes. And I'm like, we need the codes. So Holy Habits came through. It was cosmic clearing, Holy Habits, uh divine design where you design your day. Basically, like you use your calendar as like your command center for how epic your day is going to be. You like SWAT team the day. You're like you're stewarding your time as your greatest resource. And then astral automation, automating all your life systems with the stars, of course. And the results were insane. I was having clients, quit smoking after 20 years in one breathwork in the Holy Habits. And think about it. If a powerful, like, keeper of codes is smoking, you're tainting your channel. You think you're channeling when you fill your body with sugar or all of these things that we know isn't good for us. And then you take it away and then you realize, oh, wow, this is what it really is. So I was having so much like massive client results. And then all of my one-on-one clients, like they kept saying like, oh, you've helped me so much with health and habits. And to me, it's just so second nature that I didn't even realize it was my superpower. And as a projector, like we can see everybody else, but seeing ourselves is like we don't see ourselves, you know?
Mhm.
And I just kept getting that feedback, and I was like, oh, there's something here. And then I got the download for my Holy Habits Hive Mind, which is like a mastermind, but cooler, more magical, more fun, and really focused, like insanely focused on health, daily habits, wealth, which if you're not healthy, you're stunting your bank account. Disease in the body creates disease in the bank account. And it's all a radical act because we live in a sick society. Like, um, bringing it full circle to your original prompt, holy habits is not a punishment. And it's literally like your life becomes a prayer in motion. You're living a ceremony every single day. Like for example, this morning I did a workout like that is worship to spirit. That is worshiping my temple. And it really is the deepest expression of self-love, self-respect, and self-trust. My biggest like special sauce secret weapon is self-trust. Like the amount of indecision people have and like, oh, is it this or that, this or that, this or that. I trust myself because I'm trustworthy, because I don't break promises with me. I show up for me. I have my own back. Um, when I know something's not healthy for me, I don't eat it. Even if everybody around me is doing a certain thing, like it took me a while to get here because obviously I have a nervous system and our nervous system uh is only considered it's only considering our perceived safety. So when you do something different than everyone else, then your body's like, this is unsafe, and it will subconsciously block you. That's why nervous system matters so much. And not regulation, because regulation, again, is another distraction. Breath work and nervous system has been infiltrated by the matrix. Um, and so now people think they're healing, but they're just spinning on this circle above the actual thing. And they're like, I'm regulating my nervous system and not getting to the root of it. See, I have a deep respect for the Matrix because they're so organized. Look at the interest, like the elegance, the interest intricacies of the system. So with the holy habit, it really is what I see as the biggest block in all of my clients is it's closing the gap between what you know and how you actually live. Most people have a fracture point that they invest in and choose all day every day. Oh, I'll do my workout tomorrow. Oh, I'll look at my bank account tomorrow. Oh, tomorrow I'll do that thing. Oh, and it's like every single time you choose instant gratification and comfort instead of what you know is right, you're distancing yourself from spirit. I had the craziest thing come through my channel the other day, and I was like, that is very extreme. This is my superpower as a mental projector, though. Like, it's my third eye and my throat are my only channels. So it just goes, um, and sometimes I say it and it's like, wow, that was for me. Like, but I got this download, like every single move I make is thank you or fuck you. And I was like, wow, that's so
That's so good.
precise, but it's so true. And the beauty about precision is that it cuts through the bullshit. It's like it's like a blade, and we need a blade for New Earth, okay? Here's the other thing about this holy habits and discipline and swinging way too far in one direction. Like, New Earth is not going to coddle us. Dark forces are advancing at a rapid clip. We've got to get, some elbow grease going. We got to get, stand up a little taller. That mama bear energy and just toughen up, like have that tougher skin. And that's not a lot of people. There's when you can separate it from when you can receive feedback as data and not and like your worth, like your innate worth has nothing to do with it, that's when you will advance. Like, and that's very Aquarian, right? Aquarian is very data. It's like the mad scientist. And so if we view this as a game and we're all playing the game of New Earth, and your one job as a soul is to channel as much light as possible and make as many dreams as possible, what's going to get you there? Is it going to be um ghosting your health? Or is it going to be, okay, I'm going to lean in and do the uncomfortable thing, not because I hate myself, not because it's a punishment, but because I cherish me. It's like cherishing yourself is different than self-love. It's like, I am the greatest resource. I am the asset. And all of this flies in the face of all the conditioning. And another thing that comes up so much that I never knew how deep it went until I started going so deep with my clients is the amount of shame people have about this small, quiet moment where they self-abandon.
Mhm.
And people think like, oh, it's health. it's so simple. It shouldn't be hard for me. And so then people have shame about it. And then they're like, "Oh, well like there must be something wrong with me. So then, fuck it. I'm just going to keep going." And then they just spiral, spiral, spiral. When you look at the world though, like everybody wants a six pack. How many people actually have it? The people like information without implementation literally means nothing, right? So it is a radical revolutionary act to choose your health and your holy habits. And it's not enough to choose it, you've got to protect it. Like, I've never advocated for myself and my health more than at my female OBGYN appointment, where she told me I was wrong about my body. I was like, "Excuse me, something's off. I would like blood work." And she's like, "You're my healthiest client. You don't need blood work." Which, spoiler alert, PSA to everyone listening this, I think someone needs to hear this. Just because you're ahead of most people doesn't mean it's your best. You are
Mhm.
here for greatness, okay? And if you're surrounded by mediocrity, it's going to appear amazing. Meanwhile, you're going through the motions. You're just coasting. So that's kind of what the energy was. And I was like, actually, like, I know my body. I pushed hard. I leaned into that. I even paid extra to get blood work, paid into a system I don't really believe in just because I wanted the numbers. And sure enough, I had a B12 deficiency, like a severe one. And that's when I went on my journey of like reintroducing clean red meat into my diet. It's just such an important topic, and everybody's talking about, "Oh, let's make 10K months and blah 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 online." And it's like that's great, but none of it matters if you're unhealthy. None of it matters if you don't trust yourself. None of it matters if you're separated from spirit. It's like, and all the money and all the abundance, all of that comes after that because you've got to be a good steward with you first. Like, a lot of people actively invest in their own demise. Like, every time you pay for a lift to that guy hurts you, you're investing in your demise. Like, and this is very confronting. However, I just believe in people so much. I don't lie. I'm unwilling to lie. This is the thing. And I said to Allie before we started this, I was like, this might be the single thing that's blocking New Earth. Like, if everybody, like you were saying, the 1 degree shifts, it literally is a 1 degree. And here's the thing, it's a quiet 1 degree that no one will see.
Mhm.
And then in, 3 years from now, when you're meeting all your goals and like crushing it publicly, like people will be like, "Overnight success." Meanwhile, you were making those quiet, different decisions years prior. So, yeah, holy habits. I'm obsessed with it. I love it. It's my zone of genius. It really matters. And I'm just grateful to share.
Yeah. Do you guys see why I wanted her to talk about this? I think too, like a couple things I want to say that I'm feeling for people watching this is like definitely considering this around health, but also noticing where Adrienne was saying before, like, we have all this magic, but it's not being channeled through anything. It's just like overflowing, but like not doing anything. I forget the way that you worded it, but what I see a lot around this is like fumbling the ideas that we have because we don't have these small daily habits that we're practiced in doing
Mhm.
consistently, like taking action on the idea that we have. So even as you're listening to this, perhaps applying it in whatever areas like pinging in your head of
Mhm.
like maybe it's health, yes, because this is a massive area. So let's say health but
Mhm.
also is there another area that you catch yourself doing this in? And I want to bring in the idea of what you were talking about. So Adrienne just did a breathwork class that you can also get, I'll link it below, called Capricorn Climb, which I did because I'm stacked in Capricorn. And one of the things that you were saying in, I don't know if it was in the beginning part when you were just kind of channeling stuff about Capricorn or in the actual class, but you were talking about like it is a long incline. And
Mhm.
so those of you watching this, like you're a light worker if you're watching this, 99.99% that's true. And our visions are long term. They're not just, oh, I want to get the 10K month or I want to get the this like I want to get 100,000 followers or whatever this short-term goal might be. It's like what's the legacy? And so
Mhm.
what you were talking about is like, okay, this incline that we're going on like a mountain. We've got a long incline going up. So for me, what really landed was like, what are the small habits that are going to keep you sustained and nourished so you can keep walking up this incline rather than like, I see a lot of people um have an idea and then they're like, oh, it's too hard. I'm just gonna like go do this other thing and just like turn around on the mountain. And the legacy up here is like, wait, like what do you mean? And so what are the habits that we can be building that nourish and sustain that? And something that Adrienne's really shown me that I'm like so grateful for is the power of breath work. And I've been doing it every morning since I've been doing all her classes and stuff. And I'm like, this
Yeah.
is like a huge shift if I do this every single day. Like if I did this for a whole year every single morning, like what, like it's a small decision. And I love how you said these decisions are silent and they're things that no one sees and they're fast decisions of like, well, I could just do it like later this afternoon. It's like, nope, I'm doing it right now. And
Yep.
then the trajectory shifts 1 degree, but it's like that those 1 degrees add up. So, um, yeah, I really wanted to bring in this idea of the we need to have nourishment and sustainment to be able to climb up this long incline. And now, at the time we're filming this, we just had MLK Day. The inauguration just happened like a couple days ago. What's today? Wednesday. So we're literally in this new era
Yeah.
where we have to be ready to go for a long time. Like if we look at the scenery around us, just in terms of like our mission and being a light worker, it's like this isn't going to be solved in a week. Like we have, like you were saying, have to put a lot of elbow grease in. Like we have to get serious. And going back to that MLK quote that is like yours. Going back to that, it's like if we can't be organized within ourselves to be able to do the things that support and nourish us or slash our mission, what we're here to do, like we've got to pull it in. We've got to reel it in and like get really anchored and get really solid in what we're here to do so that we can organize as a group of light to be able, and something that's just coming in into my field now is like we talk about these darker forces being really organized, but it would take a much smaller amount of us as
Yeah.
light workers with focused intention. So, like, how can we nourish and steward ourselves? And for me, this is really my not just goal for the year, but it's like really where I'm putting a lot of my focus because I can see in the past where I've been depleted and where I've prioritized other things and my nourishment has just gone. Pff. So now I
Mhm.
can see like, okay, yeah, it's a long incline. I have to be sustained. And so as you're listening to this, maybe picking up something that might be for you as well of where in your life it is that you can build more um, mastery in those little choice point moments.
Yeah. And what you're saying is like, it's time to demand more of ourselves. Like, the reason why you ghost yourself, that's what happens is like when people break their own word with themselves about what they know is correct, when you do the opposite, it's because you're scared, but it's you feel you're not worthy of the real deal. So you just bounce. But it really is the most nourishing thing and like demanding more of yourself. Like you are capable. You're a piece of source. You're powerful beyond measure. Like literally no matter what has happened to you. Like for real. And everybody wants to lead a movement, but we've got to lead ourselves first. So leading yourself through these moments and these small things, like you won't need to call 10 friends about that decision that you've been hemming and hawing about when you show up in your breath work every day, when you do the uncomfortable things because it's right. Then you're like, oh, I know exactly what to do about this decision. Boom. It's how you do one thing is how you do everything. So there's I'm gonna misquote it, but we're only as strong as the weakest link. Go to the part of your life, like Allie was saying, and be like, okay, yeah, this is my weak spot. How am I self-abandoning here? How am I breaking my own word? How am I not nourishing myself? And this will require a reframe of like, New Earth is only about pouring from overflow, right? We've all been extracted from systemically. Our life force has been extracted. There's this whole conditioning of like, you've got to put everybody else first. It's all bullshit to extract from the feminine. And for me, my inner masculine pimped out my feminine before, which I had a teacher put it that way like years ago, and I was like, that was for me. Oh my God. Because my mind and I was over masculine for a while to make it in a man's world. And I never swing fully over to the just like princess puddle. I don't know why I'm calling it that. Like you're not, it's like pretty, but it doesn't do anything. Um, I know like I'm a Capricorn North Node, Taurus rising. I have all these Virgo placements. I'm also Venus ruled, and so I know that my soul chose that, right? I'm here to help this reconciling process. And it is about nourishment and endurance. Like if you view yourself as an endurance athlete and the game we're playing is New Earth, and like you are the resource, you are the channel, you are the oracle, you won't skip your workouts. Like you won't like if you just like break down my personal day, I would say most of my day is filling my own cup. I'm going on walks, I'm getting my nutrition, I'm doing my workout, I'm doing breath work, and then I sit down about midday and I serve. I actually have no business serving others if I don't serve myself. And then my discipline also applies. I'm very disciplined about play. I'm very disciplined about rest. Like last night, I had a huge surge of energy around 6 p.m. And I was like, oh, Adrienne, you know how this goes. Because a pattern for me is I get so excited that I burn myself out. And so it's discipline of like 7 p.m., phone off, computer off, work done. It will be there tomorrow. Like the oracle's not going anywhere. If I need to capture ideas, I have a download capturing system because systems turn me on. Um, but it's that disciplined rest, disciplined digital detox. Okay, at this time, my phone goes over here on airplane mode. I protect my brain, I protect my nervous system, like all of that, you know, one of the holy habits I focus on is digital detox lifestyle. And I've taken a sacred Saturday for over almost 6 years now. I saw the writing on the wall and I was like, no, that's not going to be me. I'm not going to be addicted to scrolling. I mean, do I scroll too much? Yes, I'm a human. However, I have my Sabbath and I have my like, I'm first 3 hours of the day, zero phone, 2 hours before bed, zero phone. So I have my boundaries, and then like something I could be better about right now is checking it too often during the day. Um, However, like if we talk about endurance, like your brain and your nervous system will be fried if you are constantly scrolling and constantly on your phone. And it's designed that way. So it's like, wow, there's so much here and it's so simple, but when you think about holy habits, it's just ancient. It's just ancient. Like, okay, holy habits, get outside every day. Oh, I'm going to drink water and eat food from the earth. I'm going to move my body. I'm going to breathe. I'm going to study the stars and look at them and decide, make decisions about life because of what they say. Like, it's all ancient and holy. So, yeah, I could talk about this forever.
Yeah, I know we're coming close up to our time here. So you guys can see why I wanted Adrienne to come on. So put in the comments maybe what was a takeaway for you from this video. I also feel called to say, like, I think one of the most important things that was mentioned is to drop the shame around it. Like it's just data collection. Just
Yeah.
be objective and it's not personal to us of like, you're so bad because you didn't do this. It's just like imagine you're looking at someone else's habits. You're not
Mhm.
judging them personally about it. Um, and Adrienne has a few ways she can help you with this. So do you want to share what your current offering is and then about creating moves a little bit?
Yeah, totally. So, one thing you can do, by the way, the only question that matters in your life is what's working and what's not working. It's very scientific. It has nothing to do with your emotions, your trauma, your anything, your worth. Your worth cannot be given or taken. It just is, right? So, if you focus on that, what's working and what's not working, your life will clean up pretty quick. Um, so I thought that might be helpful since you highlighted that. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, so right now I'm stewarding the Holy Habits Hive Mind. It is for spiritual women to master their holy habits the next 6 months. Why 6 months? It's a lunar cycle. You don't even have accurate data yet for what works or wasn't doesn't work in your life if you haven't done it consistently for 90 days. So when we're talking about endurance, like a lot of people are like, oh yeah, I want it in a month. It's like, that's not the reality of life on Earth. So it's a 6 month container. And the bee is our spirit guide. She came to me in dreams. She came to me in breathwork. And then everywhere I went, I was seeing bee stuff. And I'm literally living in like tundra climate right now. I was like, how is the bee coming to me so much? So it's mastering holy habits the matriarchy way. And the one of the biggest things is community because most of the world operates in sickness, in dis-ease, in breaking trust with yourself. And so having the community of like, we're doing this together really, really matters because as we all know, we're the sum total of the 5 people we spend the most time with. So if you're around poor habits, you will naturally have poor habits. So I'm leading that. We on the new moon in Aquarius, the lunar new year, it's very, very powerful. And you automatically get 3D moves when you join that. 3D moves you can get on its own. It's a self-paced 8 module transformation. There's 8 breathwork journeys, 8 transmissions from me. There's some live Q&As and some like extra like there's a digital detox module. There's calendar command where I teach you how to use your calendar, like your mission control for your life. It's like it's so fun and very impactful. So if you're interested in those things, it'll be the link to everything in the show notes. And yeah, I mean my breath work, there will be a link to everything there. But probably the most important things are, yeah, the hive mind, 3D moves, and if you want a taste of breathwork on its own, there's Oath Breathwork, which was channeled on MLK Day. So yeah.
Yeah. I would just want to say my favorite part of how Adrienne talks about all this is because she's incredibly open and receptive. She's not this like bro who's like, you've got to do this and this and this, and this is how we get our habits done. It's like she's so, for me, I just resonate with how you like speak about all of this and how you embody it because you are very feminine. You are an open channel. You're not doing this from a place of like it just feels like, oh, I can receive it from you versus, and I feel like a lot of you guys watching this might feel that same way in whatever way you might choose to interact, whether it's just watching this video or listening to her podcast or doing a class or joining the Hive Mind, whatever. it's it feels accessible for someone who's like a feminine oracle. That's
Yeah.
like, oh yes, this is like I can have both of these, you know? Whereas a
Yeah.
lot of ways we've been taught about it, it's like you're a failure if you haven't. I ran 13 miles today. What have you done? It's 5:30 in the morning. You know, and it just like sets you up to feel like shit. Like,
Yeah, well, that's the thing too, is like where we drench it in holiness because there is I'm to be fully transparent, there's a huge part of me like I watch Alex Hermosi videos and I'm like, yeah. However, like that's I call it my inner knight. It's my inner knight like archetype, but you know, who am I? I'm White Star. And you know, I I really believe that when we're looking for like teachers or people that can guide us, like if you don't, if there's like a tinge of like you don't resonate with how they're living, like for example, I could hire some like multimillionaire coach, but they have like horrible personal relationships. Like I don't want to hire them because you can feel the incongruence in the frequency. So I think that's what you're talking about is like
yeah.
there's like all these truths, but also like that's like a huge like that makes me feel very grateful that it's coming through because it really is like it's for spirit like I could cry right now, but it's just such an important time for New Earth and yeah, it's all of it. It's the I mean that's why it's called holy habits. It's holy. And it amplifies your holiness.
Hmm. Yeah, I definitely feel that. So, well, thank you so much for coming on today, Adrienne. I'm sure you'll be back sometime soon.
Yeah.
In the comments, you guys let us know what you enjoyed about this. If you have any questions, I'll have all the links to Adrienne's stuff in the description so you can check all her stuff out there. Highly recommend. And yeah, thank you so much for being here. I will see you guys next week on our next YouTube video.
Thanks.